ruin everything. He had taken the drinking to the bar, and she had followed him, trying to put him in a better mood. After a couple of shots, he had finally eased up on her, and they had talked normally again. It wasn't until they made it to the car that the fighting began. Now, Tuck was accusing her of flirting with some guy she didn't even remember talking to. As always, they were avoiding what was really bothering them. They kept fighting as he turned onto Wisconsin Avenue, the car swerving on the road.
"I can't believe you,"
he said.
"But I guess you don't love me anymore. If you loved me, you wouldn't cheat on me."
Mindy scoffed. Cheat on you? Where is this coming from?
"Oh, come on! How stupid do you think I am?"
Tuck yelled, tapping a finger on his temple.
"I know you. You've been acting so strange lately. And the other day you wouldn't let me look at your phone. You don't think I noticed the signs, huh? But this is so typically you.
Please keep your eyes on the road, Tuck!" Mindy yelled as a truck came rushing toward them, blaring its horn, blinking its headlights. Tuck pulled the wheel and turned away from it just in time. Mindy clasped her chest and breathed heavily as the truck blasted by them.
"There it is again,"
he said, looking at her angrily.
"You thought I'd hit that truck, didn't you? You don't trust me."
That was the worst thing in Tuck's eyes, when Mindy didn't trust him to protect her. He always pulled that card when he was drunk. He would gather episodes in his mind and then rattle them off when he'd had too much, starting with the time she'd asked him about the letters from the IRS that kept coming in the mail. Mindy closed her eyes with a sigh. Her head was spinning, and she felt a headache approaching behind her eyes. "Of course I trust you, Tuck," she lied, trying to calm him down to make him feel better. She had done that a lot these past few years when he got like this. It usually worked, but she wasn't sure it would this time. "I was just scared. You know how nervous I get when driving after." Mindy trailed off when thinking about her best friend, Amy. She had been in a car crash when they were still in high school, and a car slammed head-on into hers. She had been killed on the spot. Mindy looked out the front as a set of headlights hit them and almost blinded her. "That car is coming toward us really fast," she said, her voice trembling. Tuck turned to look and saw the car rushing toward them, swerving from side to side.
"Oh,
Tuck said, turning the wheel abruptly as the car whooshed by them. "Wow!" Mindy exclaimed, and they both looked in the rearview mirror, following its path as it continued, then crashed into a tree on the side of the road. Part 1. 6 years later. Chapter 1. I paused for a second as I showed the uniformed woman behind the glass my badge. It was still so shiny that it was hard to hide how new it was. "Eva Rae Wilson. Agent Wilson?" Her eyes lifted and met mine through the glass. The sound of my name made me wince slightly. After being married 5 years and changing my maiden name, Thomas, out with Wilson, I still hadn't gotten used to being called that. I had discussed it intensely with my husband, Chad. I had wanted to keep Thomas because I loved that name, but he got very offended that I didn't want to carry his name, so in the end I caved. I just liked the sound of Agent Thomas better than Agent Wilson. Don't ask me why. I guess I wasn't prepared for losing my identity like that. In my mind, I was still Eva Rae Thomas, as I had been my entire life. "I don't think I've met you before. You new?" I nodded, blushing slightly. "Yes, got with the Bureau just recently." She gave me an annoyed look, then lifted her eyebrows. "And you're here to see Frank Woods?" "Yes, I've filled out all the paperwork." "Okay, looking fine," she said, looking at the papers I had handed her when arriving. "You got the signature there, and on the back as well, and your initials on page 3, yes? I guess you're good to go." She leaned over and pressed the button to open the locks on the double doors leading inside the prison. This bunker-like building only housed the worst of the criminals in the D.C. area. It was my first time there, and I wasn't without jitters. I walked through and showed my badge once again, just lifting it so the guard could see it.